1 in a best of 3. Once more for tournament life. Toda going up against the Valley. The former on the blue side on the play with the Valley answering back. There goes the Glue, the Eve, the Lolita. As mentioned by you, LaFell, and the Valley bans out the Fanny and the 1-1.
Yeah, it's just kind of brainless kind of ban, right? It's not say brainless. I would say this is a no question asked. Just take away that Super Shark's Lolita, take away the Eve from the side of Hoon as well, making sure the Valley is uncomfortable, and then draft an uncomfortable draft for themselves, and then be unpredictable, and let's just fight it down to the mechanics.
Right now, since Toda, they are the first pick, I want to see whether the Valley, they will ban out the Kaja, the carry, or let both through, because both those heroes are very good for both teams. So if Kaja is let through for Toda, then they could really set the pace of the match. If they have a carry, then it's just draft around the carry. Make sure that Momo, because again, we're expecting Momo to go to the gold lane to really set the tempo. So this is a very good spot for you to pick up the carry.
Yep, and if you do get the carry, I think the Valley, that answers one of their main fears last night in that post-match interview. No! They spoke about how scared they are of Hilda, and now they have to no longer worry about that. The counter to the Hilda, right? The peel, no longer there. First pick for Toda, the carry. The answer, though, the Joy, who no longer now has 100% appearance in M4. How are you feeling about this Joy first pick?
Personally, I feel like the Joy, especially after watching the previous series, I don't see the massive impact that Joy could actually output. Yes, she's super annoying. Yes, she could dish and dash around you. She's super hard to catch, but she doesn't really do any damage. Also, doesn't peel as well as at the same time. You can't really split push. You can't really jump from one point to the map to another. But also, another big question is, Joy is flexible. And speaking about flexibility, the Valentina comes into play for the Valley.
I agree with you saying how Joy is flexible, because a lot of people are still debating whether Joy should go to the jungle or the EXP, because
Correct.
with the Vengeance, Joy is actually quite a troublesome hero to deal with, because 57% win rate is not the worst win rate to have, but also not the best. But we're talking about Toda going up against the Valley, so having Joy is a very chaotic kind of hero, so I kind of feel like this kind of works out for them to go up against Toda, because Toda, at their best, they're very good at coordinating who should they shut down first. So having the Joy there, kind of like disrupting their tempo, might be good.
Yep, and going into the second phase, that's a lot of damage locked in by Toda already, the Lapu-Lapu and the Hayabusa. So it's clear what Toda's plan is, and there you go. I think with this pick, the Fredrin on the Valley, they might as well have said, you know what, this is a straight XP lane pick Joy, right?
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I feel like the Fedrin definitely should go into the jungle. The taunt that you can do, especially when Hayabusa exits from the Shadow Kill, if you time it just right, you can catch Hayabusa off guard, and by the time the taunt finishes, your Shadow Kill has already, your Hot Shadows are already expired. You don't have a backdoor all the way out.
I'm really looking at what kind of hero can Yusuke use, because if he uses a hero that has a very big ult, it's gonna really detriment them, because the fact that the Valentina is there, it's very problematic. Hilda is quite good going up against the Valentina, but has been banned out. So really, I'm looking at a hero. And here, Basic, his M4 stats, Basic's Bloodbath, the only player that got 2 Maniacs in M4 World Championship. But I gotta say, Chico had 1.
So that's big questions, right? I mean, yeah, that's half of what Basic has. 2 questions raised immediately, right? What's Yumski gonna play, and what's Basic gonna play? How is he going to get to that point wherein he's breaking his own record, or maybe possibly 3 Maniacs, or maybe even a Savage at M4? So now with that Claude ban, it looks like Coach Amux and Coach Azim know that they have to protect themselves from this prime level of Basic. There goes the Kadira. One more. Is this going to be a gold lane ban?
I feel like it's definitely going to be a gold lane ban. Basic with super bloodthirsty, already 2 Maniacs. You don't want to give something that's meta, right? You want to cut down as many marksmen as possible, but no, instead, Toda focusing on the Mathilda ban.
This is kind of weird, because I was kind of expecting for like a Beatrix, because right now, looking at the draft from the Valley, they have a lot of magic damage. So Harif is a good pick, but overloading with magic is kind of easy to itemize again. So I'm really looking at some kind of physical damage dealer from the gold lane. So I'm thinking of Beatrix, but it looks like perhaps they want the Beatrix to go through. Maybe it's kind of a bait by banning out the Matilda, because Matilda could be something good against Toda's draft, but I can't see it right now.
Yeah, the Matilda actually opens up and allows for the mobility on the Valley, and Toda doesn't want that. I think Toda just wants to take it to their face and make sure that when they make an engagement, it sticks. The swing back, though, on the first pick after the second phase began, the Kufra. So they're looking to stop this Hayabusa, looking to stop that Lapu Lapu, and then they're leaving basic open, so they're protecting their gold lane.
Yeah, so it's all about minimizing the amount of dashes that Toda can output right now. But with the Kufra going in, there is also the potential carry tank shredding the Kufra very quickly as it's in the air. So I think Toda, not only just the fact that, yes, I need to be careful and open up the map as much as possible, I need to pack some Purify in. Now, about opening up the map, I was thinking about, you know, something like a Toe, but no, it's going to be a Ruby, and the Faramir is locked in for Toda.
With this kind of draft, Toda really wants to fight a lot, so they really want to be chaotic. They want to start everything early because this is going to be very interesting for Chico guys to be using the Faramir because in their own MPL, Yumski is a crazy Faramir because he always got those crazy engages, crazy catches. So now, having them both being an engaged type hero, I want to see how they can control, especially in the river as well as the jungle side of things. Because looking at the Valley, they're quite tanky, I would say, with the Joy, with the Frederick, with the Kufra. So if they do want to establish an attack, I want to see whether they're really going to be hoping for Hayabusa to deal the most amount of damage or actually fight around the carry and give more space towards the carry.
I think apart from the carry conversation as well, I think the Valentina going in front side the Valley, you've got big ultimates from Toda. Two, in fact, the Ruby and also the Faramis. And these two, well, it all boils down to how Hoon actually pilots that Valentina. These game-changing ultimates could, in fact, benefit the Valley more than Toda.
Truth be told, going into this draft, I am worried for both teams because they have very small box control.
Correct.
When team fights happen, you have to find a better re-engage because look, your tanks, they come in and it's very honest. You have that jump from the Kufra, you have the pull from the Ruby, and then you both technically have a cult altar.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it really comes down to who finds you first and who has the better angle.
Looking at this game, I want to see the first 3 minutes. I kind of feel like that will dictate how everything is going to shape up. I want to see if Joy can actually control the EXP lane. We are expecting that Joy will go to the EXP. And Hayabusa, I gotta say, looking at Team Hot, it didn't look well. I hope I see a different Hayabusa here with Rival piloting the Hayabusa.
Here we go, game number 1 in a best of 3. It's Toda versus the Valley.
Right off the bat right here, you can see both these two teams already clashing. It's going to be Mohamed Zain starting at the purple, Rival starting at the orange. I think the second thing that both these two teams will be looking at is to go for that Lethal Wanderer control.
Yeah, looks like both teams are playing slightly slow here, so no invades going for either teams. So we gotta look at right now in terms of the lane as well. Looks like there's no Roja going on. The EXP laners are going to the EXP, the gold laners are going towards the goal. So both teams, I kind of feel like, because this is a best of 3, they want to see the kind of temperament that both sides have. Do they want to play a little bit more aggressive or do they want to be a little bit more passive?
Which explains how, again, both teams let go of the whole box concept or range when going into this first game. Now Rival, just peeks.
Very sneaky. It's like, you know, a ghost in the room as well, just trying to peek what the Valley is doing for now.
Very good map control for Toda, and it's just now that the Valley had a little bit of control from the top, and I don't know if this is a surprise to you, Lafel, the Joy is actually winning against the Lapu.
Semi-not surprised, because in the early stages of the game, we do have to understand that the Lapu Lapu kind of needs his level 4. He's good at poking around with his passive, but the thing is, because Joy is moving so much, it's hard for him to actually hit his first kill directly onto Joy. So I kind of feel like right now, White Chicken with a lot of mobility is really confusing for me.
Yep, look at this presence from Toda down in the bottom lane. They know how important basic is, and they know the mid-game spike that the Brody can get. And Shark!
Supercharge charging it up with the hunting ball as well. Rival will be able to just walk on away. Basic, no engage, it doesn't stick.
Yeah, because in that kind of situation, Rival could not know that the Kufra is there because of the changes of how the bush mechanic works with a lot of disengaged heroes. Formace is quite deep into the Valley's territory.
Oh, Supercharge charges, but he charges all the way as well. Yumski will be hooked. Hoon will be the one against Hoon, and Rival picks up the first blood for now. The fight ensues. Rival will be jumping all the way back. Mohamed Zain going in with the ultimate, but will not be able to connect for now. It's going to be Cult Archer activating, but Rival will be having the turtle control.
Toda, the Malaysians claiming this territory early on. Not much for White Chicken to do. He has spent his ult, so he unlocked it, giving Toda a clear and free turtle in about 30 seconds after the turtle spawned.
Yeah, and that is because Formace was able to dictate the pace because he went into the Valley territory, actually forcing everyone to go towards him. And right now, Toda is in the third for the highest average total kills at 1.7 in M4. And it's not really that surprising because they're really focusing on this early and mid stage of the game. So the Valley, they're still in a good situation because the difference in goal is only 400. It really doesn't make that big of a difference.
Now, this is going into the 3-minute mark, right, Lafel? Looking at the state of the map right here, Toda has already picked up the first turtle and also a bit of a goal lead, but not too far.
With 200 on the map, the Valley knows that that was a hard first engage. This is where Todak is strong, and that turtle really just wasn't ours. So they're waiting for Basic to come online, for Basic to build a little bit more. The power spike, Shark get pulled.
Shark get pulled, the Super Shark will activate out the flicker to over the wall, but it's going to be not going to be able to stick. The Cult Arthur prove it so difficult for Todak to handle.
So I hate to say it, but I think I was right when I said no box gaming for both teams. And Todak is just finding the better and earlier and more decisive engages.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at the laning stage as well. Momo is actually trying to put Basic at a deficit because Yumski as well as Rival, they are waiting here, but the Valley kind of seems like they know what's up.
Yeah, it feels like a party at the bottom lane. It's going to be Super Shark engages. Basic showing jumping up, but here comes the call from the side of Todak at the same time. Super Shark will be buzzing out, but will not be able to do anything for now. Both these two teams, they can't find a single kill.
Okay, with that kind of engage and disengage, we're looking for a potential clapback. The Valley just not ready for it, not right now.
Oh, here we go. The shadow kill going in at the same time, but Super Shark will be there to bouncing, but Rival will be able to get out. Yumski going through the purple box. Well, they're stalling the whole thingy. Will be able to get all the way, but Hood terrifies him, and Yumski figures out the I'm a Venom will be able to miss. White Chico going to look for more, but here we go. But Chico guys at the same time. Formace will be trying to put out some damage, but members of Todak is running away. Chico guys 1 HP, but will not be able to survive. White Chicken activate the Vengeance, but will also fall as well. It's a trade.
Oh, another one falls. An expanded and extended team fight. All this while, the Valley was just using that to buy time. They get the second turtle.
Yeah, looking at this, it could be a game where we're looking at whoever pulls the trigger first, because the way that you got to go in and out of the team fights, you got to micromanage all of the timings, the ults, the spells, because looking at the itemization right now, Joy already has that Genius 1, so a prolonged team fight will be pretty good for the Valley because quite a lot of magic damage is on their side. Rival here, having the Hunter Strike is great, is good, but I don't think the Valley, anyone will be really alone, so he can't really maximize the power of the Hayabusa.
Yeah, even if White Chicken does go a little too deep, you can already see that White Chicken's building hybrid. And I guess this is the best kind of Joy we'll ever see in M4. At least that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree, right? Remember, we talked about Joy. We're not too sure where she should go. Even there's a lot of debates online. And I feel like White Chicken is using this Joy to the best of what she can do, right? Pop the Vengeance, find a pick up at the back line, be super annoying, and then, you know, cause some chaos at the chaos.
All right, so far, it looks like the Valley has found their aggressive streak.
White Chicken, though.
Given an 800, 1K gold lead here in the mid-game 6 minutes, I'm thinking possibly just one more turtle before I start seeing Lord. And all this time, what this is buying for the Valley is time and space for Basic.
Yeah, right now Basic is looking pretty good because we got to remember that the Brody is pretty strong in terms of burst damage and has been buffed up recently in the previous patch. So people are like, oh, maybe he's not that strong mid-game, late game. No, not really. Brody right now is actually a monster. So if he can wait out for Chico guys to use his ult, then Basic will pop off in this game.
I feel like what the Valley is trying to do right here is, right, I don't think they're looking for the kills. They're just trying to scare off Todak, make sure they don't engage, use Brody, use the Basic to basically push down the turrets very slow. Look at the bottom side. It's really hurting for the side of Todak, but Super Shark charges. Yumski try to spin. Super Shark actually catches. Yumski all the way at the back line, but Chico guys activate Call Arthur. Both sides activated Call Arthur as well. It's going to be the battle of the sustain and both sides, but Momo, he's actually free-hitting. Basic jumping at Chico guys drag 4-5 members, and it's a disaster. Overside of the Valley, and Rival is still alive as well, trying to output some damage, but the sustainability coming up in the Valley is still there. But Rival, the assassin, oh my goodness, he's still going at it as well. White Chicken buying some time, but the damage is down. 3 men goes down for the Valley.
White Chicken still trying. It's Formace and Rival. 2v1. White Chicken still gets it, shutting down the rookie jungler. And all this time I was gonna say, Formace fashionably late, but not enough time to kill White Chicken.
Well, looks like the joy with the vengeance is the answer.
That's
but
right.
I gotta say, this is a good style for both teams because whether it's a good decision or not, if someone says goes in, everyone goes in, and that's what we see from Toda because it was quite an over-aggression because Momo, he flickered in trying to get those kills, but he put himself in a very, very tough spot where he received a lot of damage from the Valley. So I like this level of play. I like this level of trust, but they gotta make sure that the right calls are being made.
Yep, slowly we are seeing how that head-to-head graph came to be. We're seeing now how the Valley can come back, find these angles, and again, take control of the mid game. There you go, that last turtle went over to the Valley. You see that Basic has built his Malefic Roar. So as soon as he gets like at least 2 stacks on somebody, someone's going down.
Yeah, I really don't think this is a really good fight from the side of Toda. They're just trying to put some pressure on the top side. Mobazane is already here. You know, just shoving them away. Need to protect Fried Chicken as much as possible. He's doing quite well as well. Try to put the attention more towards the EXP lane so that the Brody does have better farm. Trying to push down these turrets.
Right now, it looks like Todak's idea is they're trying to get any kind of objective because that's the way that they could equalize the goal. Because if they try to fight, it's really not going to happen. So they're trying to stall it out, try to see whether they can actually get this top turret. If they can't, they're kind of in trouble because this gives a lot of time for the Valley to set up something anywhere else.
Oh, Super Shark. It is going to be Rival, the first victim. Shadow kill all the way in and giving away the turret in the mid lane. So much map control for the Valley now.
Oh no, they're gonna answer. They're gonna
Another
find
one.
Yumski.
Yumski will get the flicker will be committed at the same time. That is one flicker burn from the side of Todak.
All right, so what we saw there was Todak setting up a huge top lane siege, but the Valley being maybe a step and a half ahead. They pushed mid, they caught Rival, and then a false engage onto Yumski, but they forced the flicker, so I'm guessing that's a big win for the Valley.
They had information because Mobazane was up there as well, so he assumed, okay, I just saw them top side. I don't see them again, so most probably they're gonna stay there. We could set up something in mid. So that's what happened. They saw what was there, and they made a very good assumption that they're not gonna move. So that's just calculated aggression.
Oh,
is that a purple?
He did!
That's the purple bar stolen by Mobazane, and
Grab
that's
that purple.
the biggest problem. If you have your mid lane cracked open, but now the Lord has spawned. This is the first Lord. Don't forget, Todak doesn't really have a good Lord control.
Oh no, 2K ahead, and you can assume that a lot of that is on Basic, and a lot of that is on Fried Chicken, and he's rocking that mystery shop. So best believe he's making the most of that gold more than 4 maze. 10% is gonna go a long way, especially for a team that likes that mid-game power spike 10 minutes in, and it's very difficult to find a way for Toda to get in there. We're looking at least all ults being online and looking for that engage. Who's gonna get in first?
My goodness me, Mobazane already chunked down the Turtle Lord, already half HP, but look at Fried Chicken, look at him go. He's looking for the pickup right here, but he's gonna get stunned right now, but Mobazane at the same time, Fried Chicken fought so much time for the Lord to be taken away by the Valley as the Valley collapse on top of Todak. 3 members has already gone down, 4 mates, and also fighting for dear life, but would not be able to survive. Rival, the only one left.
Super Shark, man, he set it up so well as well. Since everyone is so clumped up together, there is no way this Hayabusa could work. So right now, Toda, they're really losing up the engages on Super Shark. He's really shutting them down hard.
And now they're making their way into the base. That shield pop.
Chico
guys forced to use the cult altar early.
Too early and too late at the same time. Yosuke will be chucking it now. Look at the damage from coming from Momo. Will not be able to connect. Basic still all the way back by the Hood coming in. Wins the call out of his own. And Rival gets knocked up in the air at the same time. It is going to be Momo trying to almost some damage to the backside, but will not be able to connect for now. Formace will be able to take down one something for now. As Hood will be taking down Chico. The stun going in. Formace, what are you going to do against Mobazane?
A show of sportsmanship between Zane and Formaze. I love how much this young man has grown from North America. We used to know him as these marksman junglers, as the assassin junglers, and now look him. He's playing Fredrin.
I mean, both of them know you're not gonna die, I'm not gonna die. Might as well show the world that we still love each other. So that was a very good defense. So the way that I'm seeing how it's gonna be played out is you gotta look at Hoon, which ult does he take, as well as you gotta look at Yumski. In this, look at his replay, look at Yumski. He's the only one that could reliably stop Super Shark. He can buy 0.5 seconds for Toda. That is what Toda needs, that 0.5 seconds. If he is nowhere near the engagement of Super Shark, the team fight is going over to the Valley.
And because of that swing, there is a huge gold lead now for the Valley, approaching 8,000 gold. And what does that look like in terms of items?
Looking at Brody right now, he only has 2 offensive items. The rest is defensive because he understands my role is actually to survive as long as I can. Right now, I can still play.
Going in, Momo look Rona, Yumski will be trying to delay some time. What was when about Toda, but Yumski is taking a lot too much damage from the side of basic. Momo saying already looking for the Chico guys kill at the same time, but look at White Chicken. He's in like so much time against Momo. Momo will be trying to fighting out the car, also going in to try to kill activated by the Toda as well, but will not be able to buy enough time.
Peter Bryce, what do you have for breakfast? I want some. This Brody knows what he's doing. It's a throwback to M2
That's
Carl
it.
Teasy, winning that world championship, building the marksman this way. They're gonna clear this wave and they're gonna take their time. Discipline is the call here, 13 minutes in.
Right now, I kind of feel like Toda, if they really want to take a fight, they kind of got to take it in a very open space because close spaces is very good for a Kufra. So inside your base, around the river, not inside the jungle. If they do want to fight, don't fight in the jungle. I know how strong Ruby is in the jungle as well, having AoE control. But at this point, you got to respect Super Shark. Pick your fights at the right location. With this current location, it's not good for Toda. So they got to keep this in mind in their next fight.
And the same can be said about the Lapu-Lapu as well. If you're in those tight corners, those alleys, it's kind of hard for Formaze to predict where to land the bravest fighter and all the following skills. So that again allows White Chicken to just go roughshod straight into the back line. Now this Lord, it's as free as it gets. All right, gratis as they say here in Indonesia, giving them what, a close to 10K goal lead.
You're looking at the state of devastation. There's nothing that Toda could do. No contest, no nothing at all. Toda would need to lie flat at their base and just basically watch the animation there. The Lord has been taken down, given over the side of the valley, and this could be the very last push.
This is one last option that they can have, and that is don't care about your friends. If your friends die, let them die. Just move around the map. You have a Hayabusa because look at how the Valley's playing. They play together. So if they're playing together, 1 or 2 lanes is going to be open. So try to attack those lanes.
Would you prefer that it be Rival or Formaze who does that? Because it's only one of them.
No, both. Do both.
Just
trust that Yumski, Chiku guys, and Momo can protect their own base.
Just Delta split.
Just Delta split. If you're gonna lose anyways.
No, not like this.
Not like this, Falafel, not like this. The conceal play going in. The Lord is already rampaging all across the base for now. Bottom side has already been destroyed by the side of the Valley. It's up to Toda to try to defend. No one has committed anything for now. It's going to be Superstar charging at the same time. Look at the defense coming up from Toda at the same time. White Chicken going on the back line. Momo will be able to do some damage. The Lord is still getting chunked down by the side of Toda. Nice defense, question mark, but that will be it. But Yumski, he goes in. The co-hosts are going to be activated. It's going to be a full fast battle in a bloodbath happening in the base of Toda as the Valley will slowly make its way to the core. And they are not going to stop there. They are not going to go down without a fight as they will be chunking down on the core for their sweet victory.
The Langar has been quelled for now. Game 1 goes over to the Valley.
Yeah, looking at that, I kind of feel like Toda, they gotta look at Super Shark and they gotta look at the drop in terms of White Chicken's potential, because I've been talking about White Chicken as well, that it kind of looks like he doesn't care what kind of hero he gets. He will always make sure that he wins the lane. So maybe in the upcoming draft, you gotta really make sure whatever hero Formaze picks up, you gotta use a hero that he can for sure win the lane, win the game.
And so far, the laning phase lasted maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and that's what you said, LaFell, right? Let's watch the first 3 minutes, see what happens. And Toda showed signs of life, showed that, hey, in the early game, our advantage is real, but that window of time wherein they found these false engages in the bottom lane just gave too much time to basic. More on that later. Let me remind you folks at home first about the M4 Pass. It's available now. Complete all active tasks and you will reach level 75 at ease and for free. Log in now to get exclusive rewards like the Beatrix Light Chaser and Beatrix Stellar Brilliant Skins, and of course the M4 Beatrix figurine. They're all waiting for you in said pass. Use the hashtags Mobile Legends Bang Bang, hashtag MLBBM4, and hashtag Dare to Be Great when you're talking about it on social media. It's this figure right here, all right? So, with that being said, it's a 3-game series. We're gonna go ahead and throw it over to our analysts to break down this game. Fellas, what did you see? Talk to us, all right? It's going to be Trex, Naisu, and Wolf. I'm sure you have words for Wolf. Hey, put it down, put it down, put it down. Boys.
It's the Valley, dude. They take game number 1 here, and Trex, how you feeling, man?
Yes.
Wolf.
I'm scared for my life, number one. But kidding aside, that was an amazing match. I think that there was so much hype in the crowd that they got really, I mean, everybody get riled up because of how great the team fights were. Unfortunately, it was in the expense of Toda.
Well, it's still a best of 3, right? And I gotta say, I mean, even with the game highlight, the rookie XP laner outplaying Toda here, the Valley securing game 1, and you know, we debated about that Joy pick. I asked you earlier, where do you think it works best?
Yeah.
Is that proof right there?
Definitely proof. I think that this is the reason why you pick up the Joy. A lot of sustain, a lot of like map presence. You saw how much space he was able to make for his team, and he never really loses a matchup. Because when you saw the XP lane was heavily sided on Fried Chicken.
Well, I mean, you've seen the Valley, their journey, right? I mean, is this a different Fried Chicken? We've seen him making quite a few plays so far up to this point.
You know, quick statement. I know everyone feels that Fried Chicken is a gold laner because of M3, but the reality is, for years, he has been an EXP laner, and it's something I've been talking about for a while. Just wait till he brings the EXP lane here, and we're seeing it from yesterday with the Esmeralda to today with the Joy. He's got a lot of pocket picks.
Well, I mean, taking a look at the items here for this game number 1, 7 to 19 here was just under 16 minutes. And I gotta say, if you look across the board for the Valley, specifically Trex, all of them played their part, but specifically even Super Shark, right? Let's talk about Super Shark in this Kufra pick.
I mean, I think it was clutch, and I think this is what we've wanted to see with Super Shark. Also, picking up that immortality towards more of the late game gives him even more courage to dive in, right? And you're scared of that carry. You're scared a little bit of getting shredded down, and that was his answer.
Yeah, so many stellar plays coming from the Valley, but I do wanna add more points to how clutch Super Shark was during this game, because Toda really got the early stages going on. And Chico guys are just winning the fights. They're getting the turtle. There was one time they went to invade the purple buff of MOBA Zane, but that was when Super Shark was very clutch. He landed the stun from the lizard bush into the purple buff bush and was able to punish Chico rival because of that. And that was the start of the momentum of the Valley. They're finding big openings against the core members of Toda.
And I mean, not only that too, but a lot of this started with MOBA Zane. He's picking up this Fredrin quite often. It's either, let's say, the Fredrin, the Barretts, those utility junglers, and he secures those objectives, especially the turtles early on, and it helps snowball the Valley here. Trex, that's a huge component to their success.
Another huge component is look at the team fight participation. Everyone is working equally, and this was another thing that they had trouble with: synergy, shot calling, these types of things. And right now, they're working at their prime as a unit.
Yeah, and just the opposite can be said about Team Toda. Their side laners, 4-mace as well as Momo, they're not activated as much. If you're looking at the Valley, they activated everyone. For Toda, they had to wait for their timings. Unfortunately, the timing didn't come because of the stumble that they had when they tried to invade MOBA Zane's purple buff.
And I gotta ask you, I mean, we've seen the Faramis pop up a lot of times. Do you think this was a weak link to the composition for Todak here? Was it really a good choice to run with this Faramis pick?
Well, you know, if you think about the Faramis, like a few patches ago, you would argue that it's a very strong hero when it comes to team fighting in the early stages. For now, that isn't the case anymore. There is no shred coming out from Team Toda. They have like what? Lapu-Lapu as well as the carry. They need to farm. And even the Hayabusa needs a lot of farm before it's activated. So to answer your question, yes, I think the Faramis choice was more of a weak link than it is a strong one.
Especially after the Valentina, right? Like,
exactly,
if they would have maybe picked it earlier, banned out the Valentina, yes, it could have been clean, but hold up, the MVP, Super Shark, 84% KP, a beautiful item build, and didn't even have to max out. I mean, they cleaned up the game very quickly, and I think just 2-1 of 14.
Again, I think Kufra, especially with the changes with not being able to hear him in the bush charge up right there. Well, so far, what we've seen, I mean, we saw this from Maro, I believe, yesterday, too, and just making massive plays. So I feel like more so as we get further into the knockout stages, Kufra specifically is going to be a highly contested hero here, especially with games like this.
And Super Shark is known for wonderful plays with setup kind of tanks as roamer for set of the Valley, and if they keep on doing this, if they keep on finding good initiation type of tanks for Super Shark, I think the Valley is gonna go all the way if they find this kind of comfort.
Yeah, I mean, he went from missing almost every single Numenon blast in the group stage to landing a whole lot of Tyrant's Rage. So definitely stepping up his game here.
Well, it's kind of like they practiced their mind out in the days that they were preparing for
their
this.
minds out.
But, you know, again, jokes aside here, specifically, again, you can look down the line for the Valley specifically, everybody pulling their weight here, and having this momentum from this game, starting off the right foot, is going to be massive for them. And still, speaking about Super Shark here specifically, the heat map, right? I mean, Wolf, what stands out to you the most here?
Yeah, that is the gold lane focus coming out from Super Shark. Then eventually went back to the purple buff. So if you're going to see the heat map reset, you're going to see the pattern of where he went. So going for the mid lane and then gold lane, going back to the purple buff. That is when they found a big opening against a rival. Then eventually back to the gold lane once again. You know the focus of Super Shark. They want to activate the Brody as early as possible, as you also want to activate the Fredrin. So everybody's just working together. This early game composition coming up from the Valley really turned out to be well for their team.
You know, there's one other thing to notice. In that first 5 minutes, he did not go towards a turtle, and that was when it was almost a little shaky. That first turtle fight, he uses the Tyrant's Rage and goes away from the turtle, and it just